The East African savanna unfolds as a boundless tapestry, where the horizon stretches endlessly beneath the dome of ever-changing sky. Here, the land is sculpted by the relentless rhythm of the sun and the seasons, each day and night shaping the destiny of every living thing. The grasslands themselves are a living ocean, their surface rippling with the wind, each blade a vital thread in the fabric of life. Beneath the surface, a hidden world of roots and soil teems with insects, earthworms, and microscopic organisms, all working in silent concert to nourish the land. Scattered across this expanse, the iconic acacia trees stand as sentinels, their umbrella-shaped canopies providing shelter and food for countless creatures. Their deep roots draw water from far below, allowing them to thrive through the harshest droughts, while their leaves and bark sustain giraffes, insects, and birds alike. The savanna is a land of extremes, its character transformed by the cycle of rain and drought. Torrential downpours awaken dormant seeds, painting the plains in vibrant greens and filling seasonal rivers and ephemeral pools. In the dry months, the grasses wither to golden brown, dust swirling in the hot wind, and only the hardiest survive. Under the relentless sun, animals seek shade beneath trees or burrow into the earth. The air shimmers with heat, and every movement is measured, every action a calculation in the ongoing contest for water and sustenance. The vastness of the savanna supports immense gatherings of life. Herds of wildebeest and zebra, numbering in the thousands, traverse the plains in search of fresh grazing, their migrations dictated by the pulse of the rains and the promise of new growth. These herbivores are the architects of the grasslands, their hooves aerating the soil, their grazing shaping the plant communities, and their droppings fertilizing the earth, fueling the next cycle of growth. Wildebeest, with their shaggy manes and haunting calls, move in unison with the striped zebra and the elegant topi. Each species has its own grazing preferences, reducing competition and allowing the land to support such abundance. Graceful gazelles dart across the open grass, their agility a defense against predators. Towering elephants, the largest land mammals, roam in matriarchal herds, uprooting trees, digging for water, and shaping the very landscape with their immense strength. The savanna is a mosaic of micro-ecosystems. Termite mounds rise like miniature fortresses, providing shelter for reptiles, birds, and small mammals. Patches of denser bush harbor secretive species, while open grasslands favor the fleet-footed and the vigilant. At the apex of this intricate web are the carnivores. Lions, living in powerful prides, rest in the shade by day and hunt by night, their social bonds as vital as their strength. Cheetahs, solitary and swift, scan the horizon for the slightest movement, relying on speed and stealth. Every hunt is a test of skill and endurance, a fleeting moment in the endless cycle of life and death. The predator's success is never guaranteed, and their survival is intimately tied to the health of the herds they pursue. As dusk falls, the air vibrates with the roars of lions, a sound that carries for miles, marking territory and uniting the pride. The night brings new dangers and opportunities as nocturnal hunters emerge and the savanna transforms under the stars. Cheetahs, built for speed, rely on open spaces and short bursts of energy to bring down their prey. Their slender bodies and keen eyesight are perfectly adapted to the challenges of the grasslands. Leopards, elusive and solitary, haunt the shadows and the trees. Their spotted coats blend seamlessly with dappled light, allowing them to ambush prey and evade larger rivals. Hyenas and jackals, often misunderstood, are the savanna's recyclers. They scavenge and hunt, cleaning the plains of carrion and keeping disease at bay, their complex social structures and vocalizations echoing the intelligence of the ecosystem itself. The balance between predator and prey is delicate, maintained by countless interactions and subtle shifts in population, weather, and resources. Each species, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, plays a role in this living system. The Savannah story is written in the wary glances between hunter and hunted, in the silent communication of herds, and in the ever-present tension between survival and loss. The great migrations, the sudden storms, the quiet moments of rest, and the bursts of frantic energy all are chapters in the ongoing saga of this ecosystem. Life begins anew each season. Calves and foals take their first steps on trembling legs, learning to navigate a world filled with both danger and wonder. Playful interactions among the young strengthen social bonds and teach vital skills. Adaptation is the key to survival. Some animals change their diets with the seasons. Others alter their behavior to avoid the midday heat or the prowling eyes of predators. Even the plants have evolved defenses, thorns, toxins, and rapid regrowth to withstand the pressures of grazing and drought. Above it all, the sky is a stage for dramatic weather. Towering thunderheads unleash life-giving rain, while the dry season brings clear, starlit nights and the haunting calls of nocturnal creatures. The interplay of light and shadow, wind and rain, shapes every moment on the savannah, weaving together the destinies of plants, animals, and the land itself. This is a world of endless complexity and beauty, where every detail matters and every life is part of nature's grand design. For the herbivores of the savannah, life begins with an immediate and urgent challenge. From the very first breath, survival is a test of instinct and resilience. There is no gentle introduction to the world, no time for weakness. The open plains offer no shelter, only exposure to the elements and the ever-present threat of predators. A female topi, after carrying her single calf for 8 long months, gives birth right out on the open plain. The birth is swift, instinctively timed to coincide with the safety of the herd and the cover of daylight. The newborn arrives into a world filled with danger, its senses already on high alert. Its ears twitch at the faintest sound, and its nose quivers, drawing in the scents of grass, earth, and distant movement. Its eyes are open from the moment it is born, and it can see the vast, intimidating landscape around it. The horizon stretches endlessly, a reminder of both opportunity and peril. There is no safe den or hidden nest to protect it. The calf is exposed, relying on its mother's vigilance and the collective presence of the herd for any semblance of security. Its only defense is to join the herd, and to do that, it must be able to move and move quickly. From the very first moments of its existence, the urge to stand is immediate, driven by a deep, ancient instinct. The pressure to survive is immense. Every second spent on the ground increases the risk of being noticed by a predator. Within just 15 minutes of being born, often before it has even had its first taste of its mother's milk, a topi or wildebeest calf must struggle onto its long, wobbly legs. The muscles tremble, the joints buckle, but the drive to rise is relentless. The first few attempts may be clumsy, but instinct is a powerful teacher. Each fall is met with another attempt, as the calf's body learns the mechanics of balance and movement. It must learn to stand and then to walk and then to run. The process is rapid, compressed into a matter of minutes, as hesitation could mean the difference between life and death. It is a truly remarkable feat of nature that an animal so young, so new to the world, is capable of galloping at speed. The legs, though unsteady, are built for flight, long, sinewy, and responsive. This incredible ability is its lifeline, the only thing that gives it a chance to escape the ever-watchful eyes of a hungry predator that may be lurking nearby. Every movement is shadowed by the possibility of danger. This pattern of producing a single highly developed offspring is common among the large herbivores like zebras and gazelles. Each birth is a calculated investment in survival. By having only one baby at a time, the mother ensures there is no competition between siblings for her vital, nutrient-rich milk. Every drop is essential for strength and growth. She can dedicate all her resources and all her attention to this one precious life. Grooming, feeding, and constant vigilance become her sole focus. The calf's survival depends entirely on its ability to keep up with the herd, which is constantly on the move in search of fresh grass and water. The journey is relentless, and the pace is unforgiving. It must stick close to its mother's side, learning the sounds and smells that signal safety and those that warn of imminent danger. The bond between mother and calf is forged in these first critical hours. The first few days are the most perilous of its entire life. Every shadow, every rustle in the grass could spell disaster. In this world there is safety in numbers. The herd is a living barrier, a shifting mass that confuses and deters would-be attackers. By being able to run almost immediately, the young herbivore can quickly blend into the organized chaos of the herd. Its small size and similar coloring help it vanish among the moving bodies. A predator scanning a 1,000-strong group of moving animals has a much harder time singling out one vulnerable individual. Confusion is a powerful defense. The herd acts as a giant, shifting shield, confusing and deterring attackers. The constant movement, the dust, and the noise all serve to protect the most vulnerable. This is why the birth of a herbivore is not a quiet, hidden affair, but a race against time. The urgency is dictated by the need to stand, to move, and to disappear into the herd before danger finds them. It is a dramatic, high-stakes entry into a life that will be defined by constant vigilance and the instinct to flee. Every muscle, every sense is tuned for survival from the very start. The journey has only just begun, and every sunrise brings a new test. For the newborn of the savannah, each day is a triumph of instinct, adaptation, and the relentless will to survive. In the vast expanse of the savannah, the earliest moments of life are shrouded in secrecy and vulnerability. Unlike the swift, instinctive movements of a newborn gazelle, many young predators begin their existence in utter defenselessness, shielded from the world by nature's careful design. Deep within secluded dens, carnivore cubs emerge into darkness, their senses undeveloped and their bodies fragile. Here, camouflage and concealment are their first lines of defense, as their survival depends on remaining unseen. Lion cubs, for example, are born weighing just over a kilogram, their eyes sealed, their movements feeble. They are enveloped in the safety of a den, hidden from the dangers that roam the open grasslands. In these early days they are entirely dependent on their mother's vigilance and care. She provides warmth, nourishment, and most critically, protection from the ever-present threats outside. Immobile and blind, the cubs cannot yet explore or escape. Their world is confined to the den's shadows, where every sound and scent is filtered through their mother's presence. The den itself is a masterpiece of natural selection. Tucked away in rocky outcrops or dense thickets, it offers concealment from predators and rival carnivores alike. In this hidden sanctuary, the cubs' vulnerability is profound. Their survival hinges on remaining undetected, as even the faintest scent or sound could betray their presence. Environmental threats are not limited to external predators. The greatest dangers often come from within the species itself, as competition and territorial disputes can be fatal for the young. To safeguard her offspring, the lioness isolates them from the pride, relocating them frequently to avoid detection by rival males or other threats. This isolation is crucial, as male lions pose a significant risk to cubs that are not their own, driven by instinct to eliminate unrelated young. When a new male asserts dominance over a pride, infanticide is a harsh reality, ensuring that only his lineage will continue. During this period, the mother's role is solitary and relentless. She must hunt to sustain herself and produce milk, all while keeping her cubs concealed and safe. Other carnivores, such as wild dogs and cheetahs, face their own unique challenges. The social dynamics of packs or the solitude of a cheetah mother shape the strategies for survival. A cheetah mother, living alone, must raise her litter without assistance, relying on camouflage and the tall grasses to hide her young from prowling predators. The cubs remain motionless and silent for hours, Their only defense, the dappled shadows and swaying grass that mask their presence. Yet, the savannah is unforgiving. Hyenas and other predators constantly search for signs of vulnerable young, and a single misstep can be fatal. The odds are stark. Less than half of these cubs will survive to adulthood, their numbers thinned by predation, starvation, and the harsh realities of their environment. Each hunt is a calculated risk for the mother, as she must leave her young exposed to danger while she seeks the food essential for their survival. Even within the safety of the den, competition among siblings is fierce. The struggle for nourishment and space is a constant, silent battle. Hyena cubs, born with eyes open and teeth already present, engage in rivalry from their very first moments, their survival determined by strength and tenacity. In large litters, the strongest quickly assert dominance, securing the majority of their mother's milk, while weaker siblings struggle to survive. For the first year, milk is the sole sustenance, and the competition for it is a matter of life and death, shaping the future of each cub. In the hidden corners of the savannah, the beginnings of life are a delicate balance of concealment, parental care, and the relentless challenges posed by the environment. Here, survival is not a matter of strength alone, but of adaptation, strategy, and the quiet resilience of nature's most vulnerable. Every day on the savannah is a relentless quest for food, a struggle that shapes the lives of every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal. The diversity of species here has given rise to an astonishing array of foraging techniques, each finely tuned to the challenges of this vast, ever-changing landscape. Herbivores, the great plant eaters, are in constant motion, searching for enough vegetation to fuel their bodies. Each species has evolved to exploit a different niche. Zebras graze on tough, coarse grasses, wildebeest favor the shorter, greener blades, while giraffes browse the treetops for leaves out of reach to others. Elephants, the largest land animals, use their trunks to pull down branches and strip bark, consuming up to 150 kilograms of plant matter and 200 liters of water daily. Giraffes, with their prehensile tongues, deftly pluck leaves from thorny acacias, while impalas and gazelles select the most nutritious shoots and buds. The search for food is not just about eating, it is about survival. Herbivores must keep moving to avoid overgrazing and to escape predators, often traveling vast distances in search of fresh pastures and water. For many, feeding is a full-time occupation. Elephants and buffalo graze almost without pause, while wildebeest and zebra join massive migrations following the rains to new grasslands. Topi and other antelope take turns watching for danger as their companions feed. The savannah's apparent abundance is deceptive. Grass and leaves are low in nutrients, and during the dry season, food becomes scarce. Some antelope dig for roots and bulbs, while others browse on whatever greenery remains. To extract every possible nutrient, many herbivores have evolved complex digestive systems. Ruminants like wildebeest, buffalo, and kudu regurgitate and re-chew their food, breaking down tough cellulose and maximizing absorption. These ruminants graze quickly, swallowing large amounts of food with minimal chewing, then retreat to safety to ruminate, always alert for predators. This strategy allows them to fill their stomachs rapidly in exposed areas, then digest their food more thoroughly in cover, reducing the risk of predation. After feeding, herds often move to shaded thickets or higher ground where they can ruminate and rest, always keeping a watchful eye for danger. Rumination is a vital process, allowing these animals to break down tough plant fibers and extract every bit of energy, all while remaining vigilant. This constant alertness is essential, as predators are always on the lookout for a moment of weakness. Carnivores, meanwhile, face a different challenge. Their food is rich in protein and energy, but far harder to obtain. Each species has developed unique hunting strategies to outwit their prey and competitors. A successful hunt can provide enough food to last for days, but failure means hunger and exhaustion. Lions, cheetahs, and wild dogs must balance bursts of intense activity with long periods of rest. After a kill, competition is fierce. Hyenas, jackals, and vultures quickly gather, each trying to claim a share. The struggle for food is not just between predator and prey, but among the predators themselves. To conserve energy, lions and cheetahs rest for much of the day, their bodies built for short, explosive chases rather than endurance. This is not laziness, but a vital adaptation. Every hunt is a gamble, and energy must be carefully rationed. The savanna's predators employ a range of tactics. Lions use stealth and teamwork, cheetahs rely on speed, and wild dogs hunt in coordinated packs, exhausting their prey over long distances. Leopards, solitary and secretive, drag their kills into trees to avoid scavengers, while hyenas use endurance and teamwork to wear down larger prey. Smaller carnivores, like servals and caracals, specialize in hunting rodents and birds, using agility and keen senses to catch elusive prey. Ambush predators, from lions to crocodiles, rely on patience and perfect timing, striking when their prey is most vulnerable. Opportunists like jackals and honey badgers exploit a wide range of foods, from small mammals to insects and carrion, adapting their tactics to whatever the day brings. Some, like the aardvark, specialize in nocturnal foraging, using powerful claws to break into termite mounds and feast on insects when competition is low. Even after the main predators have fed, scavengers like vultures, jackals, and hyenas clean the bones, ensuring nothing is wasted. This intricate web of competition and cooperation recycles nutrients, sustaining the entire ecosystem and maintaining the delicate balance of life on the savanna. The social lives of savanna animals are as varied and complex as the landscape itself. Across these vast plains, every creature is bound by unwritten laws, rules of family, herd, and survival that have evolved over countless generations. For the vast herds of herbivores, the primary benefit of living together is safety. There is strength in numbers, and the collective vigilance of many eyes and ears means danger is often detected before it strikes. A lone wildebeest is an easy target, but a wildebeest in a herd of 1,000 is just one of many. Predators find it far more difficult to single out and pursue an individual when faced with a swirling mass of bodies. This is the simple, brutal mathematics of survival. Predators must weigh the risk and energy of a chase against the confusion and chaos of a herd in motion. When a predator attacks, the ensuing panic and confusion can make it difficult to focus on a single individual. The herd's movement becomes a living shield, each animal instinctively jostling for a safer position. The herd provides a constantly moving shield of bodies, horns, and hooves. Some species, like buffalo, will even form defensive circles, placing their young in the center and facing outward to confront danger. Each animal is looking out for itself, but by staying together they collectively increase the chances that it will be their neighbor, and not them, who is caught. Vigilance is shared, and alarm signals, like a sudden dash or a warning snort, spread rapidly through the group. Within these giant congregations, smaller family units and social bonds are also formed. Mothers and their offspring remain close, and siblings often stick together, learning from one another and from older relatives. Zebras live in small family groups, a stallion with his mares and their foals which remain stable even within the larger herd. These bonds are reinforced through grooming, vocalizations, and body language. Elephants have one of the most complex social structures of all, living in tight-knit, multi-generational families led by an old, wise matriarch. Each member knows its place, and the group moves as a single, coordinated unit. She is the keeper of the herd's collective memory, guiding them to water sources and feeding grounds she remembers from decades past. Her experience is vital during droughts or times of scarcity. The bonds between these female relatives are incredibly strong, and they work together to protect and raise all the calves in the group. Orphaned young are often adopted by aunts or older siblings, ensuring no calf is left alone. For young animals, play is not just for fun. It is a critical part of their education. Through play, they learn the boundaries of their social group and the skills needed for survival. The seemingly carefree games of youngsters are, in fact, serious training for the challenges of adult life. Play teaches them how to interact, how to compete, and how to avoid danger. Young herbivores like waterbuck or impala males will engage in playful jousting matches, pushing and shoving with their small horns. These contests are a rehearsal for the real battles of adulthood. This behavior helps to build strength in their necks and shoulders, and teaches them the skills they will one day need to fight rivals for the right to mate. It also establishes a social hierarchy among peers. They are learning the rules of combat in a safe environment, preparing for the day when the contest will be real and the stakes much higher. Adults often supervise, intervening if play becomes too rough. The play of young carnivores is a direct rehearsal for the hunt. Stalking, chasing, and pouncing are all practiced in the safety of the family group. Lion and cheetah cubs will stalk, chase, and pounce on their siblings, and even on their mother's twitching tail. These games are essential for developing the skills they will need to survive. These games, though they look adorable, are deadly serious. Every move is a lesson, every tumble a test of reflexes and strength. They are honing the essential skills of stealth, pursuit, and ambush. Coordination and timing are everything, especially for predators that hunt in groups. Every tumble and every pounce refines their coordination and timing. Mistakes made in play are lessons learned for the future. Through this play, they learn to gauge distance, to work with their siblings in a coordinated attack, and to deliver a killing bite. These skills are vital for their survival as adults. Their very survival as adults will depend on the lessons learned during these youthful games in the grass. Communication is the glue that holds these societies together. Elephants use low-frequency rumbles that travel for miles, while zebras and wildebeest rely on calls, snorts, and body language to warn of danger or signal movement. Visual signals are just as important. A flick of a tail, a sudden dash, or the collective movement of a flock of birds can alert an entire herd to the presence of a predator. During migrations, leadership and coordination are crucial. The boldest or most experienced individuals often lead, while the rest follow, trusting in the wisdom of the group. Social grooming and close contact reinforce bonds, reduce tension, and help maintain harmony within the group. These rituals are vital for group cohesion, especially in times of stress. Even rest is a communal affair. Herds and families gather in the shade, sharing space and the safety that comes from numbers. Sometimes different species will even band together, each benefiting from the vigilance of the other. As the sun sets and the savannah cools, the laws of family and herd remain ever present. In this world, survival is not just a matter of strength or speed, but of connection, cooperation, and the unspoken rules that bind each animal to its kin and its kind. Nowhere is the drama of the savannah more evident than during the Great Migration, when the pulse of life is dictated by the rivers that carve through this vast landscape. This is, without question, one of the most spectacular natural events on Earth, a monumental circular pilgrimage orchestrated by the ancient rhythm of the rains and the ever-changing flow of water. Each year, as the dry season tightens its grip and the southern Serengeti's grasses shrivel to dust, an instinct honed by millennia is awakened within the herds. Nearly 1.5 million wildebeest, joined by hundreds of thousands of zebra and gazelle, begin their journey, an exodus shaped by the promise of water and the lure of renewal. They follow the scent of distant rain, traversing some 400 kilometers in search of the lush, green pastures that spring up wherever the rivers have recently flowed. This living river of hooves and horns surges northward, a spectacle of movement and sound that ripples across the plains, echoing the meandering courses of the rivers themselves. The air vibrates with the low, resonant calls of wildebeest and the sharp barks of zebra, a chorus that mingles with the distant rush of water and the whisper of wind through reeds. The journey is fraught with peril at every turn, and the rivers, lifelines for the savannah, are both sanctuary and snare. Hunger and thirst sap the strength of the herds, leaving the vulnerable at the mercy of predators that shadow the migration, ever watchful for opportunity. The migration is a procession of life, but it is also a feast for lions, hyenas, and leopards, whose survival is intimately tied to the ebb and flow of the herds and the rivers they must cross. For the herbivores, the rivers are both a destination and a test. Stopping means death, but crossing means facing the unknown. The most formidable obstacle is the crossing of great rivers like the Mara, whose waters pulse with life and danger in equal measure. Herds gather on the banks, sometimes for days, their numbers swelling as the tension mounts, each animal sensing the risks that lie ahead. The river's steep, muddy banks and swift currents are shaped by seasonal floods, which deposit rich silt and nourish the aquatic plants that sustain countless species. Beneath the surface, the river teems with life. Shoals of fish dart among submerged roots, while amphibians and aquatic insects thrive in the nutrient-rich waters. The river is also home to ancient Nile crocodiles, some reaching 4 meters in length, perfectly adapted to ambush in the murky depths. These reptiles wait all year for this moment of abundance, launching themselves at the crossing herds, their presence a reminder of the river's dual nature, giver and taker of life. The crossing erupts into chaos and desperation as animals plunge into the water, churning up silt and sending ripples through the aquatic world below. The pressure from thousands behind forces the frontrunners into the current, where survival depends on strength, timing, and luck. It is a life-or-death lottery, played out in the swirling waters that sustain and challenge all who depend on them. Many will reach the far bank, exhausted but alive, while others will be claimed by the river, feeding fish, scavengers, and the very ecosystem that supports the next generation. Around 10% of the wildebeest will perish each year during migration, their bodies nourishing aquatic life, birds, and land scavengers alike. Yet this journey is vital. The rivers replenish the grasslands, and the migration disperses seeds, fertilizes the soil, and sustains countless species along the way. The river is the heart of the savannah, its waters linking land and life, shaping migration patterns and weaving together the destinies of every creature that calls this place home. On the vast, golden plains of the savannah, every day is a test of survival, a relentless contest between predator and prey, where only the most cunning and resilient endure. The hunted are ever watchful, their senses sharpened by generations of danger. The hunters, silent and patient, move with calculated precision, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Prey animals have evolved remarkable strategies, blending seamlessly into the landscape, moving in tight-knit groups, and communicating danger with subtle signals. Predators, in turn, have honed their bodies for the chase, muscles coiled for explosive speed, eyes locked on the weakest in the herd, minds focused on the hunt. Every encounter is a high-stakes gamble. The outcome shapes not just the fate of individuals, but the very balance of life across the plains. A single misstep, a moment's hesitation, can mean the difference between escape and capture, between life and death. Yet the struggle is not limited to predator and prey. Rival predators clash in fierce contests, each vying for dominance and a share of the spoils. The aftermath of a hunt draws a crowd, scavengers and opportunists, each ready to seize whatever remains. The cheetah, swiftest of all, is a master of the chase, but not of the fight. Its slender frame is built for speed, not for battle. After a breathless pursuit, exhaustion leaves it exposed, vulnerable to any rival drawn by the scent of fresh blood. Instinct demands haste. Every mouthful is stolen time, as danger could arrive at any moment. Hyenas, relentless and bold, often descend in numbers. The cheetah, outmatched, abandons its prize rather than risk a crippling injury. Against the crushing jaws and overwhelming force of a hyena clan, retreat is the only option. Among carnivores, a strict hierarchy is enforced with raw power and intimidation. Even the boldest hyenas scatter when the lion arrives, the undisputed ruler of these lands. With a single stride, the lion claims what others have fought for, his presence alone enough to command respect and fear. The savannah's law is simple. Strength and dominance decide who eats and who waits. Food theft, kleptoparasitism, is a survival tactic. Here, stealing a meal is often easier than making a kill. Energy is precious. For many, the risk of confrontation is outweighed by the reward of an easy meal. This constant rivalry shapes the fortunes of every predator, influencing their numbers and territories. When the balance shifts, such as a decline in lion numbers, the entire ecosystem feels the impact. With fewer lions, less carrion remains for scavengers, forcing others to adapt or perish. Hyenas, both hunters and scavengers, must rely more on their own skills, becoming even more formidable. As their numbers grow, the pressure on other predators intensifies, and the struggle for survival becomes ever more fierce. In this intricate web, every action ripples outward. The fate of each creature is bound to the others, and the eternal contest between hunter and hunted continues, shaping the destiny of the savannah. In the heart of the savannah, every life is part of a grand, unending cycle. The ultimate purpose of this lifelong struggle for survival is to pass on one's genes to the next generation. But the story is far richer and more intricate than simple reproduction. The drive to reproduce is powerful and shapes the social lives and behaviors of all savannah animals. Yet, it is also the force that binds every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, into a web of mutual dependence. For many species, this involves elaborate rituals and fierce competition, as well as remarkable feats of engineering and cooperation. Among antelopes like the cob, a few dominant males will fight to establish and defend small territories in a prime location. Giraffes, too, engage in ritualized combat, their battles echoing the relentless drive to secure the future. The females are attracted to these powerful males, who will assemble large harems. The young born into these groups benefit from the protection and wisdom of the herd. The male must constantly fight off challengers and mate frequently to ensure he fathers as many offspring as possible during his short reign at the top. Meanwhile, the land itself regenerates as rains trigger the rebirth of grasses and wildflowers, providing sustenance for the next generation. The mating behavior of the big cats is an intense and demanding affair, mirrored by the silent emergence of new life along the riverbanks and in hidden burrows. When a female lion or leopard is ready to mate, she enters a state that requires frequent stimulation to trigger ovulation, the release of an egg. Across the savannah, countless other species synchronize their breeding with the rhythms of the seasons, ensuring their young are born when resources are most abundant. This results in a remarkable marathon of mating that can last for several days. The cycles of flowering and pollination echo this persistence as plants and insects collaborate in the dance of regeneration. The pair may mate as often as every 20 minutes around the clock. Such relentless effort is mirrored in the vigilance of herds, always alert to the shifting balance between predator and prey. This exhausting process increases the chances of conception and is a vital part of ensuring the continuation of their lineage. The nurturing of young, whether in a den or a burrow, is a universal act of hope and renewal. Once the cubs are born, the cycle of raising the next generation of hunters begins all over again, with the mother dedicating all her energy to their protection and education. Across the plains, vigilant guardians stand watch, ensuring the safety of the vulnerable. Family life in the savannah is a cornerstone of survival. Herds and groups form living fortresses, each member playing a role in the defense and nurturing of the young. We have seen how elephant herds are led by a wise matriarch and how lion prides act as a cooperative unit. Even among primates, knowledge and experience are passed down, ensuring the survival of the group. Even animals that seem solitary often have hidden family connections. The bonds between parent and offspring, though sometimes unseen, are vital threads in the fabric of life. The black-backed jackal, for instance, forms a lifelong pair bond. Other species, too, rely on partnership and cooperation to thrive in this challenging environment. The male and female work together to hunt and raise their pups. In the savannah, teamwork is often the key to survival. Older siblings from a previous litter will often stay with their parents for a year to help care for the new pups, bringing them food and guarding the den. This tradition of shared responsibility is echoed across many species. This cooperative family structure dramatically increases the survival rate of the young and is a testament to the power of social bonds. Play and learning are as essential as food and shelter. From the moment of birth to the raising of their own young, the lives of these animals are interconnected parts of a vast repeating cycle. Even after devastation, the land and its creatures regenerate, adapting to new challenges. The grass feeds the wildebeest feeds the lion, and when the lion dies, its body returns to the soil, nourishing the grass once more. Scavengers and decomposers complete the cycle, ensuring nothing is wasted. The Great Migration is a pulse that sends life-giving energy through the ecosystem. As herds move, they shape the land, disperse seeds, and provide food for countless other species. The constant dance of the hunter and the hunted ensures that only the strongest and most adaptable survive to pass on their traits. Predators and prey are locked in an endless cycle of adaptation, each shaping the other. It is a perfect self-regulating system, a circle of life that has been turning for millennia, ensuring the continued health and vitality of the savannah. Regeneration, adaptation, and interconnectedness are the forces that sustain this living tapestry, where every creature, every plant, and every cycle of birth and death is essential to the whole. The East African savanna stretches beneath the rising sun, a realm of golden grass and ancient acacia, where every dawn brings a new chapter in the story of survival. Though it appears boundless, this kingdom is delicate, its future shaped by forces both seen and unseen. The balance that has governed this land for millennia now faces unprecedented challenges. The climate itself is shifting. Rainfall patterns grow erratic, droughts lengthen, and the once predictable cycles of abundance and scarcity are thrown into turmoil. As the rains falter and rivers dwindle, the savannah's inhabitants must adapt or perish. Waterholes become battlegrounds, and the struggle for survival intensifies with every passing season. The land itself is changing. Patches of wilderness shrink, and the great migrations grow more perilous as animals search for food and water across an ever-shifting mosaic. For the great carnivores, whose territories once spanned vast distances, the shrinking wilderness is a test of resilience. Their survival depends on their ability to adapt to a world in flux. The predators of the savannah, symbols of power and grace, now face a future more uncertain than ever before. In just a generation, the lion's mighty roar has grown quieter, its numbers halved by the relentless pressures of a changing world. Each shrinking territory, each vanished pride, is a reminder of the fragility of this ancient order. The decline of the great hunters ripples through the ecosystem, unsettling the delicate balance that has shaped life here for ages. The lion's reign is no longer assured. Each day the question grows more urgent. Who will inherit the mantle of the savannah's guardian? Yet, even in the face of adversity, hope endures. The savannah is a land of renewal, where life finds a way to persist against the odds. Across these wild expanses, pockets of sanctuary remain, places where the ancient rhythms of life continue and the web of nature is allowed to heal. Here, the resilience of the savannah's creatures is on full display. Elephants, antelope and predators alike adapt, migrate, and endure, their fates intertwined in a dance as old as the land itself. Every animal, from the swift cheetah to the smallest insect, plays a vital role in the intricate tapestry of life. The future of the savannah will be written by the resilience of its wildlife, by their ability to adapt to a world transformed by climate and time. As the sun rises on a new day, the promise of renewal glimmers on the horizon. The savannah endures, shaped by challenge, defined by resilience. To protect this kingdom is to safeguard not just its iconic species, but the entire living web that sustains them all. The savannah's future is a story of interdependence, a testament to the power of nature's connections forged over millions of years. Its health is a mirror of our planet's own vitality, a living barometer of the world's changing climate and the resilience of life itself. By cherishing and protecting this wild and beautiful kingdom, we honor the enduring spirit of the savannah, its power to survive, to adapt, and to inspire hope for generations yet to come. Beneath the towering grasses and the thunder of hooves, a hidden world thrives, a realm so small it escapes the notice of all but the closest observer. Here, in the cool shadow of roots and the fertile embrace of soil, microscopic life forms orchestrate the unseen symphony of the savannah. Billions of soil organisms, bacteria, fungi, and protozoa work tirelessly in silence. Their labor breaks down fallen leaves and animal remains, transforming death into the building blocks of new life. These tiny decomposers release nutrients back into the earth, nourishing the roots of acacia and baobab, sustaining the grasslands that feed the herds above. Insects, too, are the unsung engineers of this ecosystem. Dung beetles, with unwavering determination, roll and bury the waste of giants, fertilizing the land and aerating the compacted earth. Termite mounds rise like fortresses across the plains, testaments to collective effort. Within, countless workers break down tough plant fibers, creating nutrient-rich chambers that support not only their colonies, but the very foundation of the savannah's fertility. Ants patrol the grasses, scavenging, hunting, and defending their territories. Their tunnels shape the soil, their presence influences the distribution of seeds and the survival of plants. Even the smallest fly, the tiniest mite, each plays a role, pollinating, recycling, connecting the threads of life in ways invisible to the eye. This microcosm is a world of endless activity and vital purpose. Without it, the grand spectacle above would falter. The resilience of the savannah depends not only on its mighty predators and vast herds, but on the ceaseless work of its smallest inhabitants. In every handful of soil, in every shadowed crevice, life persists, fragile, indomitable, and essential. The legacy of the savannah is not only written in the footprints of elephants or the roar of lions, but in the silent, tireless labor of its invisible architects. They are the keepers of balance, the unseen guardians of renewal. Through their efforts, the circle of life is complete. Each life, no matter how small, a vital thread in the tapestry of this ancient kingdom. As the sun slips below the horizon and the last golden rays fade, a profound transformation sweeps across the savannah. The world of daylight yields to the realm of shadows, where new rulers emerge beneath the watchful gaze of the moon. In this nocturnal theatre, survival demands silence, stealth, and senses honed by generations. Eyes begin to glow, luminous orbs of bush babies and jennets, reflecting the faintest starlight. With nimble leaps, they navigate the tangled branches, seeking ripe fruit and unsuspecting insects. Below, the silent wings of owls slice through the cool air. Their downy feathers mute every beat, granting them the power of surprise as they hunt rodents in the grass. On the ground, the spotted hyena's haunting calls echo, a chorus of whoops and cackles marking territories and summoning clanmates. In the dark, their keen senses of smell and hearing guide them to distant carrion or the trail of a weakened prey. Leopards, invisible in the dappled moonlight, become shadows themselves, solitary, patient, and deadly. With unmatched agility, they scale trees, dragging their prize high above the reach of rivals. Tiny creatures, too, seize their moment. Spring hares bound across the open plains, their elongated hind legs launching them away from danger. Insect life explodes. Crickets, katydids, and fireflies orchestrate a hidden symphony, each note a signal in the dance of survival and courtship. Adaptations for the night are written in every fur, feather, and scale. Large eyes gather scarce light, sensitive whiskers read the air. Some, like the aardvark, emerge only after dark, their claws perfect for tearing into termite mounds and their snouts tuned to the faintest scent of food. Yet, the night is not without peril. In the absence of daylight, the boundaries between hunter and hunted blur. Every movement is calculated, every shadow a possible threat. But for those who master the darkness, the night is not a time of fear. It is a world of opportunity. Here, in the cool embrace of darkness, the savannah breathes a different rhythm. Life persists, adapts, and thrives, proving that even in the deepest shadows the ancient kingdom endures, its mysteries revealed only to those who walk by moonlight. As dawn breaks over the endless grasslands, a new chapter unfolds in the story of the savannah. One written not by day or night, but by the relentless march of seasons. Here, time is measured in cycles of abundance and scarcity, etched into every blade of grass and every heartbeat. The dry season arrives first, its breath hot and unyielding. Grass withers to brittle gold, rivers retreat to shrinking pools, and dust hangs heavy in the air. Thirst becomes the great divider, those who endure and those who fall. Herds of wildebeest and zebra gather in restless columns, driven by instinct and memory to seek distant water. Their hooves drum an ancient rhythm across the cracked earth, joined by elephants whose wisdom guides families across forgotten trails. Predators follow, drawn by the promise of weakened prey, while scavengers trace the wake of the great migrations. Plants, too, wage their silent battle. Acacia trees shed leaves to conserve precious moisture, their thorns a fortress against hungry mouths. Underground, bulbs and seeds bide their time, waiting for the promise of rain. Then, with a distant rumble and the scent of petrichor, the wet season bursts forth. Thunderclouds gather and the skies open in a life-giving torrent. Parched earth drinks deeply, grasslands erupt in green, and wildflowers paint the plains with fleeting color. Rivers swell, carving new paths and filling old watering holes. Frogs emerge from hiding, their calls a chorus of renewal. Insects swarm, and birds from distant continents return to nest and feast. With abundance comes new opportunity. Antelope give birth, timing their young to the safety of tall grass and the plenty of fresh shoots. Crocodiles, dormant for months, glide once more through brimming waters. Even the smallest creatures, termites, beetles, and butterflies, play their part in the seasonal ballet, recycling nutrients and sustaining the web of life. Yet each season brings its own trials. The lush bounty of the rains is fleeting, and soon the cycle will turn again. Survival depends on the wisdom to move, adapt, and endure. The savannah's inhabitants are sculpted by these shifting tides, their lives a testament to resilience and change. In this ever-turning wheel of wet and dry, the savannah pulses with energy and hope. It is a living mosaic where every life is bound to the rhythm of rain and sun, a testament to nature's power to transform and to the enduring spirit of those who call this place home. Beneath the vast sky and among the restless herds, an ancient army stands watchful, silent, rooted, and enduring. The plants of the savannah are more than mere scenery. They are the architects of this ecosystem, shaping every life that moves above and below the soil. Tall grasses, the lifeblood of the plains, stretch as far as the eye can see. Their blades sway in unison, forming a living sea that feeds millions. Each species, from resilient red oatgrass to wiry speargrass, is adapted to the savanna's harsh cycles. Deep roots plunge beneath the surface, seeking hidden moisture and anchoring the earth against the tearing winds of the dry season. When fire sweeps the land, these grasses bow, blackening above ground but springing back from underground reserves, a dance of destruction and renewal. Scattered across this grassy expanse, acacia trees rise like sentinels. Their feathery leaves and sharp thorns are shields against drought and hungry mouths. In a delicate alliance, some acacias host armies of ants within their hollow thorns. In exchange for shelter and sweet nectar, the ants defend their tree from browsers, swarming over any intruder. This silent partnership weaves together plant and insect, a mutual defense forged by evolution's patient hand. Beneath the shade of these trees, shrubs and forbs eke out a living, timed to bloom with the first hint of rain. Their flowers lure pollinators, bees, beetles, butterflies, each carrying grains of life from blossom to blossom. Some plants, like the striking impala lily, produce toxins to deter grazers, while others, such as wild melons, offer fruit and moisture to desperate animals in the dry season. Roots and tubers hidden underground are lifelines for everything from warthogs to elephants, who dig with tusks or snouts to unearth these precious stores. Seeds, armored in tough casings, wait patiently for fire or the passage through an animal's gut to awaken and sprout. Even the humble termite mound is an oasis, its rich soil allowing rare plants to thrive and providing food for countless creatures. Through every trial, scorching sun, ravenous mouths, and pounding rain, the plants of the savanna persist. They cycle nutrients, bind the soil, and offer shade, shelter, and sustenance. Their silent labor sustains not just themselves, but the entire web of life that depends on their quiet strength. In the grand tapestry of the savanna, it is the plants, the silent guardians, who hold the threads together, shaping a world where life in all its forms endures. Across the endless savanna, disaster is never far. Sometimes the sky darkens with thunder, and the earth trembles beneath relentless rain. Rivers spill beyond their banks, flooding the plains and turning dust into mud. In these moments, countless creatures scramble for higher ground, while seeds and roots, long dormant, are awakened by the sudden surge of water. Life is disrupted, but in the aftermath, new growth flourishes where floodwaters recede, painting the land in vibrant green. Other times, the rains refuse to come. The sun hangs unyielding in a cloudless sky, and the grasses wither to gold. Drought grips the savanna, testing every living thing. Animals wander far in search of water, and plants draw deep from hidden reserves, their survival a quiet testament to patience and endurance. Some trees shed their leaves to conserve precious moisture, while others stand bare and silent, waiting for the promise of rain. But of all the trials, fire is the most dramatic. Lightning ignites the tall grasses, sending waves of flame racing across the horizon. The blaze consumes everything in its path, leaving behind a blackened landscape and the scent of smoke on the wind. In this apparent destruction, there is purpose. Old growth is cleared, pests and diseases are purged, and the soil is renewed with ash. Within days, green shoots pierce the charred earth, and life begins again, faster, stronger, more vibrant than before. Through flood, drought, and fire, the savanna endures. Every disaster is met with resilience, every loss answered by renewal. In these cycles of destruction and recovery, the true strength of the savanna is revealed, not in its moments of calm, but in its power to rise again and again from the trials of nature. Above the rolling grasses and scattered acacias, another world exists, one defined not by hooves or paws, but by wings. Birds are the silent sentinels of the savanna, their presence woven into every corner of this vast ecosystem. From the first light of dawn, their calls echo across the plains, the haunting cries of fish-eagles circling over shimmering rivers, the melodic songs of larks rising from dew-laden grass, and the distant drumming of woodpeckers in ancient trees. Many are residents, perfectly adapted to the rhythm of the land. Weaver birds with their intricate nests suspended from thorny branches transform the trees into bustling colonies, each woven home a testament to patience and precision. Secretary birds stride through the grass on long legs, hunting snakes and insects with calculated grace. Brightly colored bee-eaters dart and dive, snatching insects mid-air in dazzling displays of aerial mastery. Others are travelers, drawn to the savannah by the promise of abundance. With the changing seasons, flocks of storks and swallows arrive from distant continents, their journeys guided by the stars and the shifting winds. These migratory visitors bring new life to the plains, feeding on swarms of insects that emerge after the rains, and dispersing seeds as they move between feeding grounds. Birds play roles both seen and unseen. As predators, they keep insect populations in check. As scavengers, vultures soar on thermals, locating carrion from miles away and ensuring that nothing is wasted. Pollinators and seed dispersers, they help maintain the cycle of growth, their movements shaping the very structure of the savannah. In the absence of human presence, their world is revealed in pure form, a delicate balance of flight, song, and survival. From the tiniest sunbird sipping nectar to the imposing martial eagle surveying the plains, birds are both guardians and gardeners of the savannah. Their lives remind us that this ecosystem is not only shaped by what happens on the ground, but also by the silent wings that pass above, connecting worlds, seasons, and the endless pulse of life. Beneath the open sky and between the blades of grass, the savannah thrives on relationships, some fleeting, others forged over millennia. Here every creature's fate is entwined with another's, weaving a complex web of competition, cooperation, and coexistence. A herd of zebra grazes alongside wildebeest, their partnership more than a chance gathering. Zebras, with their sharp eyes and restless nature, spot danger early. Wildebeest, in turn, have a keen sense for the freshest grass. Together, they roam as one. Zebras alerting the group to lurking predators, wildebeest leading the way to nourishment. This alliance, born from necessity, increases the odds of survival for both. Amid the grass, oxpecker birds perch atop the backs of buffalo and giraffe. Their beaks pluck ticks and parasites from thick hides, a mutualism where both benefit. The birds receive a steady meal, while their hosts are relieved of irritating pests. Yet even here, balance is delicate. Sometimes the oxpecker's incessant pecking opens wounds, blurring the line between help and harm. Not all encounters are friendly. Beneath acacia trees, antelope and elephants compete for shade and tender shoots. Elephants, with their immense strength, break branches and shape the landscape, opening up space for new growth. Antelope must adapt, moving swiftly to new patches as the giants pass through, their rivalry shaping the distribution of life across the plains. In the shadows, a more secret pact unfolds. Dwarf mongooses emerge from their burrows, watched closely by hornbills perched above. The birds follow the foraging mammals, snatching insects stirred up by their digging. In return, hornbills act as sentinels, calling out when danger approaches. Each species relies on the vigilance and skills of the other, their alliance forged by shared threats and opportunity. Even the smallest creatures are bound by these invisible threads. Leafcutter ants harvest grass and leaves, feeding underground fungus gardens. Termites build towering mounds, aerating the soil and providing shelter for countless insects, reptiles, and even burrowing mammals. Each tiny architect supports a hidden network of life, their actions rippling outward across the savannah. In this intricate dance of give and take, No species stands alone. Every alliance, every rivalry, every fleeting partnership shapes the destiny of the grasslands. The savanna endures not through the strength of individuals, but through the endless interplay of its inhabitants, a living, breathing tapestry of connection. Across the rolling savanna, every creature is shaped by a history written in survival. Over countless generations, adaptation has been the silent sculptor, refining each species to thrive in this challenging land. The cheetah, with its slender frame and powerful muscles, is the result of an arms race against fleet-footed prey. Its body is built for speed, light bones, elongated limbs, and a tail that acts as a rudder at astonishing velocities. This grace did not appear overnight, but through the relentless pressure of selection, favoring those who could outrun both hunger and danger. In the tall grass, antelope display a different kind of genius. Their eyes are set high and wide, granting a panoramic view of approaching threats. Their legs, coiled with muscle, allow for sudden bursts of speed and nimble leaps, a living answer to the predator's pursuit. Even their coloration is no accident. Subtle patterns and hues help them blend into the golden sea of grass, making them ghosts in plain sight. The giraffe's towering neck is a monument to adaptation. Stretching above the crowd, it grants access to untouched leaves and a vantage point over the horizon. But this height brings challenges. Specialized valves in the neck prevent blood from rushing to the head when bending down to drink, an evolutionary safeguard against the dangers of fainting in a land where vigilance is survival. Beneath the ground, termites and ants have mastered life in the shadows. Their societies are marvels of specialization, with castes devoted to building, foraging, and defense. Over time, their bodies and behaviors have diverged, each suited to a precise role within the colony, a testament to evolution's power to shape not just individuals, but entire communities. Even the plants have stories written in adaptation. Acacia trees arm themselves with thorns and toxic sap, deterring hungry mouths. Some grasses grow from the base, not the tip, surviving the relentless grazing of herds and the fires that sweep the plains. Here, adaptation is not a destination, but a journey. Every drought, every flood, every shifting season is a test, and only those who change endure. In the savanna, evolution is never still. It is the quiet force that ensures life not only survives, but flourishes, in a world of endless challenge and change. Beneath the golden beauty of the savanna, a world of hidden dangers lurks, unseen, but no less deadly than tooth or claw. Here, survival is threatened not only by predators, but by adversaries invisible to the naked eye. Tiny parasites carried by the wind or lurking in the cool shade can turn a moment's rest into a lifelong struggle. Tsetse flies, with their silent bite, deliver the sleeping sickness to grazing animals, draining their strength and clouding their minds. Inside the bloodstream, microscopic invaders wage a war, sapping energy and dulling senses, leaving even the strongest vulnerable to the next chase. Worms coil and twist within the bellies of the unwary, stealing nutrients and weakening the young before they have a chance to grow. Ticks nestle in the folds of skin, their presence unnoticed until fever takes hold. For every visible predator, there are countless unseen, feeding quietly, shaping the fate of herds and hunters alike. Disease, too, is a silent force on the savanna. When the rains come, pools of stagnant water become breeding grounds for bacteria and deadly viruses. A single cough or droplet can travel through the breeze, spreading illness from one animal to the next. Foot and mouth, anthrax, and rinderpest have swept through these lands, leaving trails of loss in their wake. Yet the dangers do not end with parasites or plague. The savanna itself can turn hostile in an instant. Lightning ignites sudden fires, racing through the grass with relentless speed. A dry season's drought cracks the earth, shrinking waterholes and forcing desperate migrations. Flash floods, once rare, can sweep away the unwary, their strength concealed until it is too late. In this realm, every creature must not only evade the hunter's teeth, but also the silent threats that drift on the wind or fester beneath the surface. The hidden dangers of the savannah are a constant test, a reminder that survival depends not just on strength or speed, but on resilience and adaptation to an ever-changing world. Across the endless grasslands, where sight is often lost to distance and concealment, another sense reigns supreme: sound. In the savannah, every call, every rustle, every distant rumble carries meaning, weaving a complex tapestry of communication that binds the wild together. A lion's roar echoes for miles, a declaration of territory and power, warning rivals and reassuring pride members hidden in the tall grass. Elephants, the silent giants, converse in low rumbles that travel beneath the earth, their messages felt as much as heard, uniting herds scattered across the plain. Birds fill the air with a chorus of whistles and songs, each note a coded message, a warning of a stalking predator, a summons to a hidden feast, or a call to attract a mate. Gazelles stamp their hooves in rapid rhythm, sending vibrations through the ground, a silent alarm that danger is near. Even the smallest creatures join the conversation. Meerkats stand sentinel, chirping out alerts that ripple through their family, signaling safety or peril with subtle shifts in pitch. Wildebeest grunt in unison as they migrate, the sound guiding the herd through dust and confusion, forging unity from chaos. These voices on the wind are more than noise. They are the savannah's lifeblood, connecting species in a vast, invisible network. Through sound, animals warn, guide, court, and comfort. A single alarm call can save hundreds from a lurking threat. A mother's gentle nicker can soothe a frightened calf in the night. In this world with no walls, communication is survival. Every creature, from the tiniest insect to the largest mammal, listens and responds, shaping the fate of the savannah with a language as old as the land itself. Here in the symphony of life, silence is rare, and every sound tells a story. As the sun rises once more over the endless plains, the savannah awakens to a world both ancient and ever-changing. Here, every dawn brings challenges, storms that sweep across the grasslands, droughts that parch the earth, and fires that race beneath the sky's crimson glow. Yet, in the face of adversity, the savannah endures, shaped by the relentless push and pull of nature's forces. Life here is a story of resilience, grasses with roots that dive deep, waiting patiently for rain. Acacia trees that sprout anew after fire, their seeds awakened by heat. Herds that learn the rhythm of migration, following invisible trails to water and safety. Every creature, from the smallest termite to the mightiest elephant, adapts and evolves, writing new chapters in the saga of survival. Predators and prey, plants and pollinators, the strong and the vulnerable, all are bound together in a fragile equilibrium. When disaster strikes, renewal follows. Green shoots rising from blackened earth, rivers swelling after the long dry new life trembling on unsteady legs. The savannah is a living testament to the power of adaptation, where change is both a threat and a promise. The future of this kingdom is unwritten, its fate balanced on the choices made by nature itself. Some years the rains will fail and the grasses will wither. In others, abundance will return and life will surge forward. Through every hardship, hope endures, woven into the DNA of every living thing. The savannah's greatest strength is its ability to change, to find harmony in uncertainty. As the day fades and the horizon glows with possibility, the savannah stands ready to face whatever comes. In the dance of survival and renewal, the ancient wild remains undefeated, a testament to the enduring spirit of life. Here, in the heart of the grasslands, tomorrow is always a new beginning.